Oh, hello, and welcome to the weekly Mix and Mash. Oh, hello, and welcome to the very first instalment of the Soccer Mash.
It's called Football, you dafty.
Brought to you by the Midweek Mash Tattie Sportscast. For all you Mix and Mash fans out there, don't worry. This is a more streamlined version of the Mix and Mash. We're going to break it down into two different parts. We're going to have the Soccer Mash.
It's called Football, you dafty.
And we're going to have Moto Mash. So all you motorsports enthusiasts out there, just look out for the very first installment of the Moto Mash coming to your podcast app very soon. I'm your host, Harvey, Cloud Singer Smith. With me, as always, is Michael, Earth Healer Alan, and Paul, Dreamweaver Kerr. How you doing, boys?
I am healing the earth as we speak.
And I think you'll find it's Dick Humongous.
Dick Humongous, thank you. So, lads, welcome to the very first instalment of Soccer Mash. How are you today? Soccer.
Ready to kick a football.
Ready to kick the football off. Oh, man.
Really go, mate. Really go.
Right.
May I ask a small question before we move on?
Yes, you may.
Where did my lovely name come from?
Oh, it's your Earth Spirit name, okay?
Earth Spirit's name.
Very vegan,
Well,
very heal the
How
world.
do you do?
Yes.
There you go. I'm feeling the need for some plant-based nutrition.
Oh, so last week, oh no, I didn't mention it on the podcast, did I? So last week I was talking boys off air in respect to the England and Hungary game. So England-Hungary game was supposed to be held behind closed doors. However, Hungary circumnavigated that using a FIFA rule, or a UEFA rule, sorry, that children can still attend the game as long as they're accompanied by an adult. So Hungary gave a bunch of tickets to the kids, and obviously the parents or an adult had to attend with them. So it ended up having 30,000 fans there, I believe, or around that number, around 30,000. I don't know the exact number, but in a stadium that was supposed to be played behind doors.
That was definitely well populated. Yes.
Was there any like checks and balances in place in terms of like if you've no got away and you're not getting in, or was it just if you'll get a ticket when you go?
I don't know all the details. I just know I think they gave the tickets to school children,
right,
and then the adults had to accompany them again. I don't really know how it works, if I'm being honest.
Dodgy either way.
It's just dodgy. Obviously, this was because the last time they played together, there was some racial abuse. Yesterday, I don't see any reports of actual racial abuse. However, when they're taking the knee at the start of the game, well, all the Hungarian fans were booing. So, which then most of the
Pretty
children, right?
disappointing, really, lads. Aye.
So, I think it was actually about 36,000 fans. Yeah. So it's pretty disappointing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Aye, mum and dad taking the kids to the game to show them how to boo the foreigners.
Mhm.
Yep, especially the ones different coloured.
Yeah.
Pretty shitty, really.
Mm-hmm.
Really, when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
UEFA again are being seen to not really do well at governing a footballing sort of organisation, and B, what the hell is going on in Hungary, man?
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't believe for a second that Hungary is a place that is populated only by white people.
Mm-hmm. No.
What is the deal with Eastern Europe as far as that's concerned?
Yep.
Old Soviet countries, in it. They're just blocked. I don't know.
I don't even think they even come under Soviet, though. They've always been their own sort of entity, Hungary, for a long, long time.
Mm.
Central Eastern Asia. It's
Phenomenal.
beyond the joke, mate. It really is beyond the joke. And it overshadows a positive night for them, really, when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they won 1-0, Mick, against England.
All right, I did not know that.
Which I mean, for Hungary, England are a top 10 nation, so it's a tremendous result
Aye.
for
So
them.
it's a tremendous result for them. 1964, I think it was, or 60, something like that.
62, I believe, at
62.
the World Cup before England.
Crazy. So, Hungary, it was a part of the Soviet Union.
I was just about to say that. I googled it just to make
indeed,
sure
right?
it was.
So obviously they were locked off. It was one. I mean, that doesn't give an excuse for people these days to be the way they are. It's crazy. Oh, here's the UEFA rule, by the way, just so you know. The UEFA rule, it permits an unlimited amount of children under the age of 14 to attend games behind closed doors for free, as long as every 10 children are accompanied by one adult. So that's the rule. So
disappointing. Even more disappointing if that's what the script is. If there's 10% are adults and 90% are kids and a 30,000 attendance in the
36. Aye.
Like pretty poor.
It just shows you what they're teaching the reins over there, man. It's horrendous.
Mentality.
Aye.
Aye. Very poor.
Very, very poor. I mean, you can't take the result away for Hungary, but the fans need a word.
Aye, I mean, like I says, it's a great result for the team. I mean, they're 40th in the world. England are, in fact, top 5 in the world. So for them, it's footballing wise, it's a tremendous result. Just a shame that this is what we're talking about.
It's just a shame that it's marred by these things.
Aye.
When will it change? Like, it's a cultural thing, obviously. It
sadly is, mate.
Aye. Unless the culture change, it's not going to change. Unfortunately. Moving on to some more kind of disappointing. You could call it disappointing news. So Kurt Zuma, you remember we talked about when he had his wee kick about with the cat?
He kicked a very lovely Persian cat.
Yeah. So Kurt Zuma, obviously they went to court and stuff. So he was found guilty of, I don't think it was animal cruelty. It was 2 counts of causing unnecessary suffering to a cat. So he has been ordered to carry out 180 hours of community service and been banned from keeping cats for 5 years.
Right.
So it's pretty light sentence.
Not really a harsh punishment, is it?
No. I mean, I think the harshest thing it was West Ham fined him £250,000. But you make that back in a couple of weeks. So
rebuild a giant kitchen and let a lion chase him out it.
Aye.
See how fucking hard he is then.
Aye.
Respectfully.
So he also had to pay the court fees. Was $9,000. His brother, Johan Zuma, he was ordered today 140 hours, and he was also banned for 5 years from owning a cat.
Right.
He actually suffered worse punishment than Kurt, of course. He get suspended and released from Dagenham and Redbridge, I'm sure.
Aye. It's I mean, the only reason why is because he's not as good as a football player as
basically,
aye. So I feel like, I mean, these clubs always talk about integrity and this and that and blah, blah, blah. If the club actually had that they stood by their words, and they had the integrity and everything like that, no matter who it is in your squad does something stupid like that, you should release them. Do you know what I mean?
Aye, you would think so.
But if you're a top footballer, somebody else has just got to come and pick you up and you'll be fine. So
Aye.
it's one of them, innit? Did you know how they got... I don't know why I laugh, but did you know how they got caught?
Oh, it was Johan Zuma's Snapchat, wasn't it?
Johan Zuma sent it to a lassie who he was supposed to go on a date with later on in the day. And the lassie was like, mate, it's like, I don't even think that's funny. Like, don't even bother coming to the date. And then she's the one who kind of made people know about it.
Screen recorded it, basically, aye.
I don't know what he thought they were sending that video and try to get his whole, like, that's not impressing anybody. Like,
Aye.
do you know what I mean? Like,
aye, it's a real level of heads going for the boy. It really is. That is incredible.
Aye. Mental. Aye. What can you do with these football players, eh? Get that. So, just before we go on and talk about the Scotland game, as a Man U fan, well, I'm not a Man U fan, sorry, but if you are a Man U fan, you must be livid, eh? Oh, Ralph Ragnick, getting the hell out of there. Now he's the Austria manager. Won his first game 3-0.
I did not know that.
He had a great first result beating Croatia with Austria.
Aye. Beat Croatia 3-0.
That's weird. So he's left like a cushy advisor type role to go back into managing.
Aye. Managing the... Yep. Yeah, Austria, they won 3-0. 3-0.
Was he maybe like the director of football or something? What was his thing?
That was his original title. He was going to be a director of football for Manchester United. But obviously that's now all been shot down quick. But like Harvey says, his first game in with Austria and they beat Croatia. It's a great start.
3-0 at that as well. So very good result for them.
You've got to be miffed if you're a Man.
You've got...
He's just come in and taken a paycheck and done very little for them and then buggered off to turn out to be a good manager.
I mean, when they got, like, it was getting to the point where the fans were like, would I rather have Ollie in charge? Where it is still. When Ralph came in, you know, after a few months, they were like, shit, we've jumped out the pan straight into the fire.
I still don't think they should have sacked Solskjaer.
I think
like you made quite like valid points in terms of why they should, but I'm still of the opinion they should have let him ride it out because clearly they couldn't do anything to fix the shit that they were in, so they should just have stuck it out and did their best to have somebody that was going to be really like make a difference for them over the summer.
So I mean, looking back on it, you know, you could argue that they should have kept Solskjaer in until the end of the season, but obviously they're bringing in Ten Hag.
Yep.
You know,
the optics would have been better.
They could have,
because they could just have blamed everything on Solskjaer rather than the full organisation's going to shit.
I mean, it's fucking going to shit anyway. Just you push Solskjaer there, it would have been a good facade. That's all right. I mean, I think they needed Ollie out there because fans were turning. I guess they kind of did the right thing by saying an interim manager. So this guy's not going to be full until we find our full-time manager. Like, you know, I imagine like they had named him as the full-time manager. Like, I'll sign him to a 3-year deal. He's going to be like 6 months later, and he's off. Like, I mean, I think if he had a 3-year contract, I don't think he would have took that Austria job. But
no,
I think they might have seriously been thinking, "Holy shit, we've got it wrong here. Like, let's get him out the door and get somebody else in." Well, I mean, I think they've got a good manager in their hands now, and Ten Hag. Let's see if he can produce in the Premier League now. You know, we all know his style of play. Let's see if he can do it. Bring Man
It's an
U back up.
interesting pre-season. Aye,
Aye.
it's an interesting pre-season ahead. At least they've got one monkey off their back with Pogba out. That's a good move.
Yeah.
So it is getting Pogba out the door. Like it's an issue they needed resolved. Now it is. Now they can move on to that.
Yeah, Pogba definitely needed to leave. I think he was one of the problems in there, one of the big problems in there. I think he had a massive influence on players in there.
He definitely did. He definitely
with him
carried a
going-
lot of weight.
It's funny that because he's been he's been touted to go back to Juventus. So he has.
Aye.
So instead of going to another top team. PSG and Real Madrid are supposed to be in for him as well. I don't know. I don't think Real Madrid needs to take him. I know that Perez, the president, he likes Pogba. I think he sees the markability of Pogba, so wouldn't it surprise me if he signs for Real Madrid either. Even though Real Madrid don't need him. They have.
No, they definitely don't.
In my opinion, they have superior players there. And I mean, even the 19-year-old Camavinga, I'd rather have him in my team than Pogba.
Oh Christ, aye.
Like,
Absolutely.
You know, he comes into a game and takes control of the game. Pogba, unless it's a wee shitey team, then you're not getting anything out of him. Unless he's in a France shirt team where he's surrounded by quality players as well. So, aye. Shall we move on to the Scotland game?
Aye, come on. Let's just get it by with.
Come on. So, who watched it?
Know me.
Aye. Through my fingers.
Aye. I was on a boat. I was driving the boat.
On a boat,
back, and I kind of had it on, and I just wanted to smash the boat into a wall.
Aye.
That was only when we went one. Sorry, that was only when we went 1-0 down. We were absolutely dreadful from the start. I mean, I'm just going to say this again. I say it all the time. Why is McTominay starting in defence?
That was the big worry. That was the big alarm bell I had when I saw the starting lineup.
Just to fit him in the squad that you have. Like, McKenna has been playing brilliant in the Championship this season.
He's actually been okay. Not that I like him, by the way, but he's done all right.
He's, you know what I mean? It infuriates me.
I think loyalty let him down there, wasn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Somebody said to me, but McTominay was all right when he went into midfield. And I was like, well, there's a reason for that. Because he's a fucking midfielder. You idiot. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, come on. Like,
I remember saying this to you before, but the experiment of McTominay defender is way past its sell-by date.
Long gone. Long gone. I mean, for the second goal, he just leaves your man there. I can't even pronounce it. I can't remember his name. Just leaves him there. So Aaron Hickey is like, oh shit, and tries to get in front of the guy.
He's got this ground to cover.
It's not only that. I think the player's about 2 feet tall and Hickey and all. Like, do you know what I mean? And he's trying to, but it's like, God, McTominay, like, why have you left him? He's watching the ball. That's what he was doing. He was watching the ball. Sees anyway.
It's true. Charity begins at home. The home of Scottish football.
Yeah.
It was.
I mean, this is the one of the things that I've been critical of Steve Clark as well, is when things aren't going right, he has this tendency not to change things or changes it too late. You know, and
he's no reactive.
Unfortunately, he waited too late to change up the formation. When we changed to the 4 at the back, it was 4-3-3 basically. who were playing much better, creating chances, scored the goal. I mean, McGinn, how he misses that header, I don't know.
Aye, 2-0. Aye.
Like, just score, man. Like, well, not even score, just get it on target. Like, either make the keeper save or one of the defenders clear it, but he's headed, man, McGinn.
I mean, if you were to tell somebody that lived in a cave for the past 5 years but liked football, I mean, that's a pretty unique person, let's be honest. But if you were to tell somebody to watch this game and say, right, one of these teams hasn't played together all season almost due to ongoing bloody conflict in their country, and one team is in a full season, is on a bloody 8-game unbeaten run.
Aye.
Like it was stark, the difference between both teams. They deservedly led and deservedly killed us off at the end.
Yeah.
We had a cheek thinking we deserved to be back in that game at 2-1.
I mean, aye. At
It
1-0,
would have been a robbery if we'd equalised at 2 each.
At half time, he brings on Ryan Christie for Lyndon Dykes. Like, okay. And it's just the same thing. 2-0 is when he changes it to the back to 4-3-3.
Aye, that was what was clear, is that the system did not work.
It wasn't working against them. Like, change it. Like, you must be able to change that system. And it was an easy change as well. McTominay moves up into midfield, and then you have your back four there. You have Robertson, Hickey, and then you have Cooper and Hanley. It's happy days.
I feel so sorry for Craig Gordon, man.
And
he was
Craig
in a
Gordon.
one-man mission.
Aye.
To try keep us in that game. He's no fucking Superman.
Aye.
and he gave Scotland a couple of spare lives, like with saves that he had no right to get to.
Again, aye,
and he'll never make a World Cup now. Like, that's it. He'll never make a World Cup.
I mean, 4 years from now, he'll be what?
Retired.
43.
That's what he'll be.
Well, he'll be retired. Well, you never know. You never know. He could still be playing, but he'll be 43 then by the next World Cup rolls around. So probably his last chance there. Unfortunately for him, we shit the bed. I mean, it's
just the whole team.
I sit here and blame Steve Clark. His tactics and stuff were a bit, his formation and everything. But then at the end of the day, the players themselves need to be doing a bit more.
You can go on about tactics. You can go on about the problem that I've got with all Harvey is mentality. Such a wee brother team. We're such a bloody youngest child team. Like, it's just such a shite mentality to always shite it at the big occasion. Every time. Like, this is a thing, right? And this is me speaking as a Scotsman here, right? Not even as a football fan. But I saw yesterday on social media all the Scottish folk going, it's hungry. See that?
That can go in the bin.
Roll that up into a ball and kick it into the fucking sea. Because I'm not celebrating people beating England anymore. England have a right to enjoy themselves at big tournaments because they keep getting to them. Yes, they have talented players, but they actually turn up and everybody turns up with them. So they get to enjoy that. I'm not holding that against Englishmen anymore. The problem I have is with the mentality of Scottish players and Scottish fans. Whenever we get to just doing the old, this is nice. Or, I mean, Ukraine have got so many problems in the world right now that as a country, and that is a fucking shame. But this was a football game. This wasn't bloody...
Exactly.
This wasn't Donbass. This was fucking Hampden.
This is football.
See for a wee bit of...
Done my nutting.
A wee bit of devil's advocate, right? If it even is that. Do you think it's possible that the position that Ukraine's in and the mixed emotions that the Scottish players would have no doubt had about taking on that team, given what's going on?
Why you have mixed emotions though? It's football.
They need to park.
Sorry, that's my mentality. And as a professional athlete, that should be your mentality.
You need to park.
It doesn't matter what's going on behind it.
You're not playing war.
It doesn't matter. Like,
the Ukrainian boys came out with fire in their belly, and so they should. But we should have met that. As a team who's not been to a major tournament for 30 odd years in the best form they've been in a generation, and everybody shat it and went, no, it's all right, pal, sorry, never mind. For 90 minutes, that's what it was that mentality of, it's all right, we're just happy to be there. Like, it was such a cowardly performance.
Sorry, we kind of got a bit too passionate there, Michael. Sorry.
Absolutely.
But aye, as professional athletes, I think they should not be even thinking about that. The one thing you should think about is winning that game. Aye, so what's going on in your home country is terrible.
Can I interject?
Yes, go ahead.
Yous have not answered my question. Is it possible, nothing to do with what should have happened?
Oh, is it possible?
Is it possible that in their heads, their mixed emotions, the fact that they're feeling sorry for the situation that these players and their families are going through, the fact that they would no doubt feel some sense of guilt if they had trounced them, like if Scotland had won 5-6-0, they would probably have felt pretty bad about it.
I think...
there's probably some of that, Michael. There is probably some of that.
There's that too, but I think there's this thing with Scotland and their freaking mentality. I think that they've went into that game thinking that they've won this game.
Right,
I think they're looking... I think it's complacency.
Right.
Along with... Because they're saying, we've been playing. Half of these guys haven't been playing. So we'll be fitter. We've got more game time, get more... what did I like to call it in football?
Big match experience.
Match fitness and etc. etc. Right. So I think that played a part. And we just completely shit the bed. I
don't know what's happened in the build up to the game. Do you know what they expected Ukraine to be like, but they massively fucked up as far as I'm concerned. Like, this was a monster opportunity. This playoff route. They'd been good enough to merit being in this. They had been good enough.
Do you know what's going to happen, right? And this is Scotland all over. We have them in the Nations League, and I can guarantee you we'll smash them in the Nations League when it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
It's just so annoying. Somebody I seen somebody tweeting and kind of got. I was like, actually, you know what? You're right. Similar along the lines of you, Paul. It was Andy Robertson celebrating his Champions League. Not the Champions League. Sorry, the FA Cup. The FA Cup and the League Cup double. Right. 3 days before the game, he's there drinking and getting smashed and stuff. He says nobody said a word about that. He said, but if that was England and it was an English player that was doing it, everybody would be talking about it because it wouldn't be allowed. It would be, what are you doing? Like, you have a big game coming up and you're there in the piss. Like, you're a professional athlete now. Like, I was like, aye. We don't really hold them accountable in the same way as other countries hold their players accountable.
That's probably a part of that. Aye. It's just the performance was just so poor. I was there at Hampden against Denmark, and we looked like we belonged in top tier nations.
Aye.
One thing we need to not forget is Ukraine are a very talented team, regardless of the issues that bloody poor country are facing on home soil right now.
I think
they are a team packed with talented players. Are they the best?
I think they're talented in their own right, but even despite that result, right, I would
say back your players, player.
Aye. I would say 9 out of 10 times we beat them.
I think player for player, where everybody's good though. Aye, just like you're saying, Harvey. I mean, for that, Zinchenko plays with Man City. Robertson plays with bloody Liverpool. Like, it's...
Aye.
We've Che Adams up front, who's a Premiership striker and has been for seasons now.
Yep.
Like, there are enough...
You have McGinn, he's another Premiership player.
Aye.
You have Billy Gilmour, another Premiership player.
The team's full of them.
Armstrong, Ryan Christie now. I mean, like, Hanley.
I think there was a bit of lack of acceptance that some of these players had bad seasons at club level.
Yep. Oh, sorry,
Steve
that was
Clark.
good you bring that up, because that's another one that I wanted to bring up. Yeah,
Grant Hanley and Billy Gilmer specifically, Harvey, have had
Billy
very,
Gilmer.
very poor seasons. Billy Gilmer, no his fault. No, Hanley's been poor.
Mm-hmm.
But with John Suter in the bench, we've got plenty of players. We have depth.
Yes,
You've
we
got
have depth
McTominay.
now.
Put McTominay into midfield if you're worried. Like,
This is I was saying. One of the
you're
things that
saying John Suter, good season. Scott McKenna, good season.
exactly. Billy Gilmer. When I seen Gilmer starting, I was like, he's been great for us in previous games, but you can't discount the fact that he's been terrible at Norwich. Obviously, the first half of the season he wasn't playing, but then when he's been playing, he hasn't been playing great. He's not been setting the world on fire. So why are you sticking with him when he's been in poor form? When you have somebody like McTominay on the bench, you have other players on the bench in midfield that are capable of playing that position. Do you know?
It was such an abject performance, such a letdown.
Yeah.
You could see it from 2 minutes in. You could see there was an issue. Like, it just, from the word go, there just was no turning up.
Aye.
I mean, one thing you'll never say about Scotland is a lack of trying. They grafted and they grafted, but it was just brutal.
It was grafting for no bloody reason.
It was for no reason. There was no plan almost, which I find staggering with such an experienced coach.
And an experienced squad.
Aye. They didn't look like they knew what they were doing. It was just brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's praising Ukraine's good work and they outplayed Scotland, but they didn't need to try hard for it, did they? Really?
No, they didn't need to try hard.
Like, it wasn't much work.
They didn't.
Business.
Yeah. It was just.
Aye.
What it's just shambolic performance, and that's what it's like. I mean, Steve Clark needs to be. Could look at himself in the mirror and say, right, you have to bite the bullet now. Can't he just go off of loyalty? It has to be who's performing at those positions is who plays. Remember that's what happened with England for a while. Their quote unquote best players were getting starts when they were having terrible season, and their fans were getting frustrated because
there was a top four mentality with the kind of squad selection, like
until Southgate came in. When Southgate's come in, he's like, nah, whoever's playing the best and performing the best at said position is the ones who I'm going to take. It's
definitely helped him. It's definitely helped him.
And just what you were saying there about people say, "Oh, laughing England getting beat." Like, what? Why do you care? Like, if England's getting beat, like we just lost our chance of getting to the World Cup. England are in the World Cup already, and they get beat by Hungary. What are you talking about, man? Like, don't get me wrong. I will laugh if when England get beat in the semi-finals or something, right? But that's completely different. That's like why you're trying to mask your hurt by laughing at something else. Like, just come on.
What do you think about the next 3 games, Harvey? Obviously, it's Armenia first, Republic of Ireland, and then the return game away at Armenia. 3 wins out of 3, at least.
Should be.
Armenia just beat Republic of Ireland, by the way.
It should be. Republic of Ireland in the years past, they had a good squad. Now
they're awful now. I would be very angry if anything less than thumping them. I would be pretty annoyed.
See, to be honest, this is pretty bad. Actually, I'm just thinking. I don't even think I know any Republic of Ireland starters. Shane Duffy.
Shane Duffy, centre half, I believe, is still in there. But they're largely made up now by Championship and League One players. Like they have fell far as quality goes.
Mm-hmm.
Their kind of star player is Chinedu Ogbeni, I'm sure, who is a winger for Rotherham, who have just been promoted to the Championship.
Aye.
Their striker is Troy Parrott, who was on loan in League One at
Troy Parrott.
MK Dons. So
I mean,
they're not a top quality team anymore at all.
By the way, Troy Parrott, if any of you play Football Manager, he's your man in the Championship.
Aye, wait a few years in Football Manager and you're sorted with Troy Parrott. But currently, no, he's pretty bang average, really. Just a boy.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Hirani. I know Hirani. Connor Hirani.
Horihan, you mean?
Or Horihan, I don't know.
Hirani. Horihan. Connor Horihan.
Horihan, aye. Actually, now I'm looking at it with the eye in it. Aye, Horihan.
Big Hirani, I'm like, who's Hirani?
Aye, that's about it, really. We should be beating Armenia. Republic of Ireland, we should be beating them. So I would say 3 wins out of 3, but watching that drivel the other day, who knows?
Honestly, who knows?
Anyway. Michael's just listening to us berate Scotland.
Yes,
Football. Scotland. Ugh, come on. Always doing us dirty. So he's that.
It's the hope that kills you, Harvey.
Aye. So, next 3 games, we're looking for 9 points. Hopefully we get the 9 points. Qualify for boost our chances again of qualifying for the next the next Euros. Which I can see us getting to the Euros again, but just need to sort it out.
Agreed.
For any of you listening out there, let us know what you think. What does Scotland need to do to improve? Talking about that, Scott Gemmell, Scotland's under 21 manager. Scott Gemmell says that clubs should be giving their youth more game time in order to help them improve, and also improve the standard of the game in Scotland and improve the Scottish team as well.
Well, I would like more money and more nice food.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just stating the obvious, just like Scott Gemmell, of course.
Aye, but I was going to say, obviously, that would be the way ahead. However, when you have these big clubs and all they're interested in is getting as high as up to the table to get European football, etc., they're not going to pin their hopes on a youngster.
That's it. It's all well and good saying it. Real life.
I'm not really loving that, if I'm being honest. Like, it's up to the SFA to develop national players, a group of players that can play at the highest level. It's not on the clubs to think about what the international team's needing.
It's on the bloody players to develop to the best.
I was just going to say, I think the players,
if they're good enough, they'll get game time, but if they're not good enough, they're not good enough.
If you're good enough, yeah. Who knows what needs to be done? But if you all have a suggestion, let us know. We're going to wrap it up here. So, very first episode of Soccer Mash is now finito. How did you like it? Let us know. You can tell us on any social media platform. We're on it. Check us out on our website. Thank you all very much for listening. Keep sharing us. Keep listening. Love yous all. Cheery bye, driver.
Bye, driver.
Bye-bye.